Hi everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Science, Rock and Life. I'm Bevan and this is...
Baxter.
welcome back. So, Baxter, what did you want to have a talk about today?
A few things, Bevin. I think I was kind of like getting sick and tired of talking about lockdowns and vaccines, but something happened this week in Canberra, uh, and our chief minister has decided to ease the restrictions. We're in a lockdown, right? COVID lockdown, and
Mm,
uh,
mm.
we had one case about 3 weeks ago, and the whole city went into a lockdown. And now we've got 20 cases or less than 20 cases on average every single day, and they're trying to ease the restrictions. And I'm thinking, this just doesn't make sense. And when I think about all these other conspiracy theories and whatnot, and people taking insect medications for the livestock medication just to cure.
Yeah,
That's
horse
right,
meds.
just to cure COVID. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you?
That's crazy. That's actually really similar because, yeah, New Zealand also about 3 weeks ago, we had one case, and we're about the same. So today there were 24 cases, so it's like slowly coming down. Um, but yeah, no, there's no hint of
Yeah.
stopping. We're we're going to be in our level 4, our highest lockdown, for at least
Oh
another
wow.
week,
Yeah.
and probably much longer too.
Yeah.
So what sort of things are they opening up? What are they reducing the
Well,
restrictions
they're
on?
actually saying to people like, oh, 5 people can now gather in the park and sit and have a picnic. So, you know, I don't get it. It's a little bizarre. And I think in other countries, I think in Israel, I've heard um, most of the people are vaccinated, and yet the number of cases are
Yeah.
going high. So it just goes to show there's a lot of ambiguity between in relation to vaccines and lockdowns and whatnot. So I don't know. It's what's going to happen with this world. I'm a bit worried now.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you do well in ACT, you've still got New South Wales.
Yeah.
It's not looking very good at all.
No, no. Every day the numbers are increasing by 100. So it's definitely very very bad. And this summer is gonna be horrible. This Christmas is gonna be bad. And yeah, terrible.
Well, talking of terrible things, I just remember a few hours ago we had a terrorist attack
Oh
in Auckland.
no.
Yeah, it was just one guy.
Oh.
He went into a supermarket and like stabbed six
Far
people.
out.
Yeah, so three of them in really bad condition. But because I heard the siren, so I pulled out my
Oh yeah,
scanner, so I was listening to the
that's right.
ambulance staff going all
Yeah.
along. Yeah, so apparently this guy was like a known guy that the police were keeping
I
an eye on. In fact, they were keeping such an eye on him. They were like these like plainclothes police officers with guns, like following behind him, like whenever he left the house or whatever. And yeah, and
Wow.
so when he pulled out this knife, they shot him
Oh.
dead within like 60 seconds of him
Wow.
starting this
Wow.
attack. So yeah, kind of good that they were there, but yeah.
And did any of the victims die?
Not yet. Yeah, so I was listening to the radio. So it sounds like some of them have got some pretty bad stab wounds, but they got to hospital pretty
Okay.
quickly. So
Well, that's good.
yeah,
Hopefully
hopefully.
they'll all be okay. Far out.
Mm.
Gosh, if COVID isn't bad enough, then you gotta worry about all these loonies and terrorists. Ah, it's the end of the world. Now I've got the
It's the end of the world, but spring's just around the corner, isn't it? I think it was the first day of spring a couple of
It
days
was
ago.
actually in Australia. It was on the 1st of September. And
Yeah, I think it's the whole
oh
world.
right.
Well, the whole southern
Oh
hemisphere.
okay. Cool. Yeah. My ignorance. So you've bought a. Let's talk about less depressing things, and you bought something interesting. Do you want to share?
Yeah, so we've been locked down for 3 weeks and kind of well, I mean I've got heaps of work to do, but I'm still
Yeah.
kind of getting bored, need something new to do. So actually, I can't even remember how I got onto it. I think I saw some software for doing piano lessons or something, and I thought, oh, I've got like a keyboard thing. But my current keyboard's really old, like a 1980s style
Yeah.
Casio thing, and it doesn't do MIDI out. So I thought, oh well, let's get a
Hmm.
MIDI keyboard. And then I went down like this hole of looking at hundreds of YouTube videos about what you should buy and stuff like this. Anyway, I ended up with this, which is a
Hmm.
Kai MPK Mini version 3 or Mark
Right.
3, and so it's a MIDI
Yeah.
controller keyboard. So it doesn't make any sounds kind of by itself, but you need to plug it into a
Computer sound
computer
card
or a synth or something like that.
interface.
Yeah, and so when you press a key, it doesn't send a sound. It sends a MIDI kind of computer
Right.
signal, which is like the note, how the velocity, so how hard you're
Yeah.
pressing the key, and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. And yeah, these are pretty cool. It's got kind of like
Tapping
like
pad, drum
drum
pads.
pads, so you can
Ah.
tap out a beat. So you get a bit more of a kind of a organic like rhythm to it, rather than when you're like programming into a drum machine.
Yes.
Um, because you're tapping it out yourself, it's yes a bit more organic,
Yeah.
and the controls are pretty cool because when you turn it, the software on the computer it responds. You can see the knobs
Yeah.
turning on that. So yeah, really it's yeah, just like um, a controller for the software. And this knobs you can do like pitches and you know change the bend, like like with when a guitar you'd bend
Oh,
the
yeah,
notes
yeah,
like
yeah,
this. This
yeah.
is just exactly the same. You just kind of do a
Ah.
little bend there. Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty cool. So I've been mucking around uh, a little bit with it, but yeah, it's got a pretty big learning curve because yeah, you have to learn the software and stuff, and there's just so many different options you can make. Imagine like your amp,
Yeah.
but like every single part of it has all that many controls, and with the synthesizers you can like change the waveforms and stuff like that. Yeah, real complicated, but yeah, you can make some. I mean, I've never really been into like
Yeah.
electronic music exactly, but I don't know. You can still make kind of just fun beats. So yeah, I'll learn. Yeah, become part of the system.
I think GarageBand has something similar. I think I haven't used it, but I may have seen something similar, like a built-in software. So did this set you back with I don't know, a couple of $100 or?
No, well, that was kind of one of the reasons why I got it, because like only 180 New
Okay.
Zealand dollars. So actually, like really
Yeah.
cheap. Um, for the kind of quality of it. And so there's if you read the reviews and stuff, the keyboard players say, oh yeah, the keys feel like
Yeah.
real keys on a piano, not like
Right.
plasticky kind of rubber things and stuff like
And you
that.
can change the keys in it as well, like from A, B, C to whatever key you want to play it in.
That's right, yeah. You can basically the whole thing is just totally
Mm.
customizable. It's got like an auto arpeggiator,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
so that plays arpeggio, so playing all the notes of a chord generally sequentially, one after each other. Um, but yeah, you can program that, and while that's doing that, you can kind of add a bit of swing to it, so it kind of has like a jazz feel to it instead of just like robotically
Yeah.
playing, exactly on the thing. So yeah, anyway, there's heaps of stuff that I don't even know what it does yet.
I like jazz. Jazz is fun. They
Oh,
there used to be a jazz bar in Auckland. It was in Civic, and I remember like when I used to be part of the rock club, which was at uni. Um, a lot of people from there, all the band guys, we all used to go there and watch random jazz bands just going up on stage and playing. And Yeah, just improvising for minutes and minutes and minutes. So that used to be a lot of fun. Um, yeah, I miss that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah, jazz has that
Hmm,
improvisation feel to it, which is cool because then they can kind of
that's
respond
right.
to the audience or the mood of what they were feeling at that time, that
That's
kind of thing.
right. They can play on for forever, pretty much. A lot of jazz
Mm,
musicians
mm,
are very creative, and they can get very technical as well. Um, and that's pretty cool because if you look at some of the heavy metal musicians, um, a lot of them actually have a jazz background, and it's amazing how they can bring in that influence and that skill and create something more heavy metal, and that's pretty cool. Which is something I'm trying to I want to do as well, because not jazz bit, but I've basically been influenced by blues playing, and hence pretty much for the last 2+ decades I've just been bringing in the bluesy element into any kind of music that I play. And but lately I've been thinking, maybe it's time to move away from the bluesy stuff. Well, still keep it there, but try to learn
mm.
something different as well, because there's just so much out there, and if we can tap into some other energy, well, not energy, tap into some other skill, and bring that into just the normal rock or metal music that I play, that's gonna be great. um, but yeah, and I've actually now composed 4 songs. I need to write down the lyrics, but my my old school way of writing, and we talked about this uh, in the first episode, my old school way of writing, which is just picking up the guitar and playing something, is working out pretty well, and I'm being more creative. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah,
Mm, mm. Yeah, I think that's kind of why I kind of like this thing as well, because it just allows you to just hit stuff and sounds come out, and like most of it's not good, and then you just keep going, and yeah, you just kind of get that creativity as you just
yeah,
kind of go, and then you eventually get to something, rather than kind of like planning it all out,
yeah.
just start
That's
playing.
right. And I think a lot of people actually who do stuff with midis and who are living in a van, for example. And the reason I'm actually talking about this is because Tom Green, Tom Green, the actor. Um, I think he
Mm,
does a lot of podcasting, and he does a lot of vlogging as well on YouTube. And he did this van live, just living in van, and he had his keyboard and the MIDI thing set up, and just creating music in the van,
mm.
and then using that as his background pretty much. Or I don't know what he does, but yeah, it seems to be working fine. Speaking of creating and music, so today Iron Maiden's brand new album got released. Did you get a chance to listen to that?
No, I've been working all day. What's it like?
It's amazing. So I pre-ordered uh, a media book, CD media book version, and because we're in a lockdown, all the stores are closed, and I can't get it. So, and I knew the
Yeah.
stores are gonna stay closed for a while. So I ended up ordering it on iTunes, and so
Yeah.
last night at around 12 o'clock, I was just waiting for my phone so it can be downloaded automatically, and it did like 5 minutes later.
Sweet.
And so I was awake in bed. It's a long album. It's a nearly 80 minutes long album, and so I was in bed listening to the music, and I didn't want to sleep because I was just loving it. In a nutshell, um, it's really good. It's really good in comparison to what Maiden has produced in the last 15 years or so. That was pretty good too, but there's just something different about this. It really transports you into this other world. And you kind of like get lost in this magical Iron Maiden world. Um,
Hmm.
my only gripe with this new album is that Bruce Dickinson's vocals are just buried in the mix. I don't know why they did it like that. Um,
Hmm.
and also, I think he also had throat cancer a couple of years ago, and he went through the whole
Yeah.
chemo treatment and everything, and I think that might have affected his voice as well a little bit. Um, and
Mm.
it's just that I feel when I'm listening to the songs that he's not enunciating the words properly, and it's just kind of just making this sound. It sounds like he's not enunciating properly. So yeah, other than that, the music is great. It's very diverse. It's prog rock at its best.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
there's just so many changes happening. Like all of a sudden they start playing a piece, and you're like, wow, that doesn't sound like Maiden at all. And then immediately
Hmm.
they blend in their classic Iron Maiden sound, and boom, it's like wow. And there's tons
Wow.
of instrumental bits there, and you're just like enjoying it pretty much. It's like they have three guitarists, so they're
Mm.
swapping guitar solos, swapping riffs, whatnot. It's epic. The whole experience, an epic
Wow.
experience. So highly recommend it. Senjutsu is the album name.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, do you have a favorite song from it, or is it too early
No,
to
I do
make that
actually.
call?
So obviously, the Writing on the Wall, which was the first track released, and the second single, I like
Yep.
that as well. Stratigo. Hell on Earth is the third one that I like a lot, and the fourth one, I'm just trying to look here. The Time Machine. Time Machine. It's an
Yeah.
amazing track. It starts off nothing like a Maiden track, and then yeah, you just have to listen to it, and yeah, be the judge.
Cool.
But no, super stoked. I wish I had my CD or vinyl. I'm kind of like thinking of just ordering vinyl from another state. At least I'll get it. Um, but
Why can't they do home
oh well,
home
they
delivery or
can.
whatever?
The issue is like because it got released today, home delivery won't come in till about next week. So
Oh, okay.
we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Uh,
Oh well, maybe you can pick a copy up when you go to the park or five people or whatever.
I know, I know. Well, there's one record store in Canberra, and they're actually open. And I got in touch with them yesterday, and and they said their shipment has been delayed, but they're open. They're doing a click and collect. Um,
Oh yeah.
and so I asked them like, hey, how much for the vinyl? And they haven't responded back. So at this stage right now, we're like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Either I get the CD
Mm,
digital.
mm.
Maybe I'm gonna give this album a few more spins, and maybe right now it's just excitement that hey, it's a new album, so I'm liking it, and a couple of days later, I may think differently. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, um, yeah. So you're gonna buy a digital version, or do you have a streaming service?
Yeah, well, that's my trouble in that Google killed off the Google Play Music
Yes,
store, and they
to YouTube.
transferred it all to YouTube Music, which I just hate Google just killing off things once you get into it. So I'm like, right, you're dead to me, man. So yeah, of course I've still got all my CDs and
Yeah,
all that kind of thing. So I've got all my MP3 rips
yeah.
of those. So at the moment I have got it on another service called
Okay,
iBroadcast, which works really
all
well,
right.
and it's free. But if that dies, I'm just going to set up my own server because what I need is I need to be able to like play music in my car, but I don't want to have CDs in it, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I just stream it through my phone.
Yes.
Um, so that needs to be online somewhere. So yeah, if that goes, I'll just build my own streaming service thing. So yeah, I need a digital format somehow. So if that means getting it directly digital,
Right.
um, or but then it has to be can't be too the security on it and stuff. So yeah, maybe we'll just get the CD and
It's interesting that you mentioned Google Play, because even though I use Apple's system, I used to enjoy going on the Google Market or Google Place, whatever it was called, and sometimes buy music there. Because I used to do a price comparison. It's like, okay, iTunes is selling it for $15, but hang on, Google Play is selling it for like $12. And yeah, I'm gonna save $3 and just buy it there, and then be able to transfer all that music straight to my iPhone because it was just an MP3. And I was a bit gutted when they got rid of that service, and I'm like thinking why. And believe it or not, I'm not making this up. Just yesterday, I was actually thinking, oh man, Google Play used to be good. Uh, and I'm not making this up at all. This is exactly what happened. I was thinking about Google Play, and now you brought it up and got reminded again.
yeah, I think it had like a good thing where it could like create these playlists based off like one song or stuff like that. So you could have like like a fresh playlist, which is good for me. Driving
Yeah,
in, drive about an hour a
yeah.
day. So um, yeah, and do albums as well if you wanted
Yeah.
to listen to it that way, which is a good way of doing it as well.
So, speaking of Google and stuff, the other and playing, actually playing,
Mm,
reminded me of Nintendo Switch. We briefly talked about Nintendo Switch last week. Um,
that's right. Yeah.
we didn't record this, guys, but we had this conversation away from the camera, and and I think Nintendo Switch is such a great console, especially um, just for families and even children, and just for individuals as well. Do you have any? Do you have Nintendo Switch? Because they've got a brand new console coming out, I think next month.
Oh
Yeah.
right. No, no, I've never owned any
Ah.
Nintendo kind of product actually.
Well, you should.
So what's right? All right, marketing man for
Yeah.
Nintendo. Tell what's so good about Nintendo Switch.
I'm kidding. Oh, heaps. Especially if you've got a little girl, so
Mm,
there's tons of games for children and for families to play together. There are a lot of co-ops game which you don't get with Xbox or PlayStation as well. I'm thinking, because when I try to look for co-op games on Xbox, it's just a mission. Most of them are just single player games, or you can play online. Whereas with Nintendo Switch, you can play it on your own. You can have like two or three or four people, and you can also go online to play in. Just a user friendly interface of how these games work, how they load up so quickly. And with Nintendo Switch, you can dock it into this little uh, docking station, which is connected to your TV,
mm.
so you can play those same games on TV. And if you're on the go, you can just like pick up Nintendo Switch and carry it with you in a bus or wherever you're going. So yeah, great features.
So does it have like multiple controllers on it or
Yeah,
something?
you can have, I think, up to about six controllers. Yeah, so you can obviously it comes with like a two joysticks on each side of the little console. But yeah, no,
Mm,
you can get like a proper controller, like a controller like an Xbox controller, and
mm.
yeah, it's really good. My partner and I, we've been playing Mario Brothers. You know, and we've actually finished 3 Mario Brother games just on the co-op mode, and yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. So yeah, highly recommend it for people. Even my daughter, who lives in Germany, she has a console Nintendo Switch, and so when we're Skyping, we play together. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. So we
Oh,
got exactly the same
huh.
games, and we can actually play it together, and you can actually be online and play at the same time the very same game together. So lots of benefits.
Well, and it works from the other
Oh
side of
yeah,
the world.
totally. Yeah,
Huh,
it's
cool.
uh, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, and there are a lot of kiddie games, as I said before. By kiddie games, I mean like the Mario games, or even for younger kids as well. Um, you know, there's Pokemon stuff and Minecraft, and you name it. I think a lot of children like to play that as well. So a lot of games for children and adults. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, a lot of fun.
And what? How much are they?
I think the first generation model, if it's on special, you can get it for about $400 when it's on special. And I think
Hmm.
the new one, which is coming out, it's about 530 Australian dollars, I think. So it's a little bit dearer, but now it comes with a bigger screen, and I'm sure they must have improved a lot of the mechanics and I don't know the hardware.
Performance
Yeah,
of it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and there are tons of games, so highly recommend that. Yeah, I should be getting some commission from Nintendo now for supporting.
This segment's brought to
Not
you
at all.
by.
I wish it was. Yeah. Um, I guess we're reaching the 28-minute mark. Is there anything you would like to talk about, or should we wrap up our third episode?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm just keen to get back to
Nice.
playing this. I'll send you my a sample of what I did, I
Oh, yeah,
believe.
yeah, yeah. Nice. Looking forward to that. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching our third episode. And if you're new to our channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week or for our fourth episode. All right, take care. Peace.
See ya.